A lot of your takes are pretty boring, but 90% of people IRL who've heard of you think you're the devil. It's hard for me to tell, obviously, because now this is my perspective and my subjective lens of analysis, and it affects me. So you can always just spam cope if it makes you feel bad. But I think that the number one thing that works against me more than anything else is probably the caricatures that other people make of me. Now, it's hard for me to know that exactly, but I think I said this earlier, 99% of the time when a person starts watching my content and she'll say like, oh, I used to be a Vosh fan, or I used to be a Hassan fan, or even people that email me and say, I used to be a Hassan fan, I used to be a Vosh fan, 99% of the time they tell me they're no longer fans of them or they're fans of me. It's never because they were like, I did some big introspection, I did a lot of critical self-reflection, or I think I've grown and I've changed. It's never that. Usually it's just like, then I saw one of your videos. Like 99% of the time, that's the answer. I used to think this and this and this and heard that, but then I saw you debate this guy. Then I saw one of your videos. Then I saw something pop up on TikTok from your content. And once I saw that, it was totally different than because if you talk to an average Hassan fan, who's Destiny? I think he's like a really edgy racist guy. I think he wants like BLM protesters to be killed. I think he's really transphobic, probably homophobic. He hates poor people. But then if you listen to literally any debate I've ever done ever, then it's like, oh, the thing that I had in my brain, yeah, doesn't line up at all, you know? Yeah, I think that most of the time, I think that's the reason why. Some people say like, oh, it's because you use logic and you don't toe a partisan line, blah, blah, blah. I actually don't think that part matters almost at all. I think it's the caricatures that other large content creators create of me in their fans' minds are very, very, very bad. That would be what I would say, but. Why did the caricatures arise in the first place, though? Could you do that to one of them, or does being more lefty make you immune? Unfortunately, I've built a brand and I've built an image out of being incredibly honest and I'm just jerking myself off. But like honesty and being truthful about people is one of the big things that works in my favor for my brand, but it also works against me a little bit as well. It works in my favor, honestly, because people see that as being a positive trait, so I get a lot of credit from that, especially against audiences like conservatives. However, the issue is that it severely inhibits my ability to lie about other creators. So there's probably been like 2 or 3 times in my career where I've kind of like, I probably shouldn't have said that. I probably shouldn't have said that Demon Mama made that 4chan thread about her, which was, in the grand scheme of things, like a pretty minor lie, and it's not even really, like, she probably did. But like, when I say something about somebody else that's dishonest, my fans will roast the fuck out of me for that, because integrity is a big part of what I do. Now, even though people will say it, integrity isn't really a big part of why you watch Hassan or Vosh. You don't really care about integrity. What you want to hear is you want to hear them roast the fuck out of people you don't like. You want to hear them give you your political partisan lines back at you. You want to hear them make you feel good about watching them and about your takes on the news. That's really why you're watching them. At the end of the day, you don't really care. There's going to be like some baseline of integrity. You assume everyone is, but you don't watch these people because of integrity, right? Like if you're a Vosh or a Hassan fan, these guys can say basically whatever lie they want about me, and it's not going to be a big issue. Like, you don't really care that much, you know?
Conservatives are like, I hate affirmative action. And then they're like, we need to elevate some black people because, you know, we need to hear a black person's perspective defending white supremacy. Affirmative action is in and of itself not a issue. Unless you are shitting on affirmative action as a black person, then we'll elevate you to a position of power.
That is very true. And it is hypocritical, and Hassan is 100% correct. But it's also true in the reverse as well, right? Don't treat minorities as a monolith. It's not fair to stereotype black people as being criminals. It's not fair to stereotype Hispanics as being rapists or thieves. It's not fair to stereotype these people. However, all black people probably want to abolish the police, and all police are definitely racist against black people. And even when black people are meeting against other black people, it's because of white supremacism. And all brown people are Bernie Sanders supporters, because when I was in Equinox, my one guy was like, "Hola, Hassan, me gusta Bernie Sanders," right? Like, so everybody, this has been increasingly blackpilling for me, but I feel like very, very, very few people actually have political virtues or moral virtues or principles. It's more just kind of like, at the end of the day, what supports my given political position, and then you just kind of run with it, basically. Because it's silly to say like, oh yeah, like, because for Hassan, right, all black conservatives are just bootlickers upholding white supremacy, you know? So it's like, okay.
And I think that every black person knows how to get into college. I mean, you can pull out the names, the Oprah, President Obama. You can pull out the head of Time Warner was black man, the Forbes was black man. We know what to do now. We don't need a...
What the fuck? What are they... What? What's happening?
Affirmative action anymore. And to me, affirmative action is offensive sometimes, especially nowadays, because I have 6 children, and 2 boys, 4 girls. And all of them went to Harvard and Columbia, and this one and that one. And it breaks my heart to think that they accomplished that.
Yeah, wait, what? That's like, yeah, how do you not understand that,
Careful. Be really careful with this.
like, conservatives are lying? Wait.
They're that.
Yeah, wait.
I have 6 children, and 2 boys, 4 girls. And all of them went to Harvard and Columbia, and this one and that one. And it breaks my heart to think that they accomplished that.
Yeah, wait, what? That's like, yeah, how do you not understand that, like, conservatives are lying? Wait, that's so dumb. That's so dumb. Lady, your children deserve to go to those fucking schools. Are you stupid? How did you not understand that?
Oh God, I know he's not directly saying it, but I'm really uncomfortable because it feels like he's implying the same thing that she's saying she hates is the implication. It feels like he's implying that, like, even if they got in via affirmative action, like, which this lady would kill herself if she heard her saying it. I can't, it feels like he's implying that, but maybe not, but it feels like he's so close to it.
Go to those schools. Are you stupid? How did you not understand that your very own children deserve to go to those schools, and you're like, and everybody thinks that, like, they deserve to go to those schools only because of affirmative action? It's like, yeah, no shit. That happened during affirmative action, which means if you personally believe that your children deserve to go to Harvard, you can't be anti-affirmative action. What the is...
Oh God. Oh, it's such a horrible statement to make. It's like the worst. It's like, of all the statements that you could make here, it's like the biggest proof of, like, what this woman is talking about. Like, if you're happy that your black children made it into Ivy League schools, how can you be against policies to help stupid black people get to Ivy League schools, lady? Like, what are you talking? Like, oh God, it's like the worst. It's like he's doing exactly the thing. He's doing exactly the thing that she's complaining about. Oh no.
This makes no sense.
Yeah, it's like he looked forward through like 55 million timelines and he tried to pick the absolute worst one.
That's so stupid. Unless she literally is about to say, like, my kids are fucking dumbasses. Like, they literally took a white person's spot or some shit.
Goal of getting into these institutions just because of the color of their skin.
I can definitely say that it creates a lot of tension when you have affirmative action. I remember my first week being...
No, you fucking idiot. The tension is not affirmative action. The tension is white supremacy.
Okay. You can't say you have integrity and do the most bad faith interpretation of what Hassan said. Hassan said that if you're happy that your children went to this school as black children, then you must defend affirmative action. How are those two things linked at all unless you think affirmative action was an integral part about those black children going to that school? That's what, I don't understand what you're saying. That's what it sounds like to me. Am I misinterpreting that? That's not what he said?
Anti-affirmative action. Your conservatives are lying. Wait, that's so dumb. That's so dumb. Lady, your children deserve to go to those fucking schools. Are you stupid? How did you not understand that your very own children deserve to go to those schools, and you're like, and everybody thinks that, like, they deserve to go to those schools only because of affirmative action? It's like, yeah, no shit. That happened during affirmative action, which means if you personally believe that your children deserve to go to Harvard, you can't be anti-affirmative action. What the?
I genuinely try to be good faith because I know Hassan dipshit fans will say I'm being bad faith. I genuinely don't know how else to read that statement, but maybe I'm just missing something. Yeah, maybe I'm just missing something, but that's how I read his statement. He's not necessarily saying that affirmative action is what got them in, but it's a very heavy implication, and it's saying that, like, if you got your black children into Ivy League schools, you must be in favor of a program that helps, that accelerates people to get into these schools that otherwise wouldn't deserve to, right? Which is essentially kind of sort of what affirmative action is, right? We're saying somebody can't get there on merits, but we're going to get them in because of their skin color, which is what this lady is opposed to. you can call me bad faith if you want, or I'm just stupid, I guess. But I don't see another way to read that statement. But
this makes no sense. You fucking idiot. Detention is not affirmative action. Detention is white supremacy. Okay?
I also think that, like, and maybe this is unpopular with progressives, I don't think that you should ever be saying, like, white supremacy or white anything like that. And it's just cringe. It's just, like, it doesn't mean anything anymore. Everything, especially, like, bro, like, we watch a video of, like, 4 black cops beating up, like, a black guy to death in the street, and it's, like, white supremacy. Like, it's become such a catch-all for every single boogeyman that you don't like. I think it just needs to stop. Unless you're having, like, a very academic conversation, and you want to talk about it, that's fine. But otherwise, it's just like, let's just not do this anymore. It's super soy. It's super cringe, and I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about half the time.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, it's definitely not white supremacy. It's the affirmative action that made people racist, my man, for sure. Maybe he has to live with that. Maybe he has to fucking believe that internally, because, like, otherwise he has to recognize that, like, every single person that's propped him up in his career in the conservative media ecosystem is a racist piece of shit.
Is he? God, I feel like you need to be so careful in these conversations, because now isn't he basically saying, like, the only reason these black people are here is because they're black? Isn't he like kind of proving the concept? Like, some people think that affirmative action makes it so you'll never take any black person seriously, and Hassan's like, that would never happen. Literally nobody would think that way. And by the way, the only reason people take you seriously is because you're black. Aren't we kind of, I don't know.
Focus on the underlying point that he's making. He's like, I deserve to go to this college because I worked really hard, okay? And then people think I got here due to affirmative action. That idea, that you have to have enough processing power, okay, to recognize that in that very moment you're like, wait, I didn't get here because of affirmative action. I got here because I worked hard. Hold on.
Yeah, but the whole issue is that you don't know. That's the whole point. I think that's the problem, is that he doesn't know, because there is affirmative action. That's the whole confusing issue, right? That's the problem. I don't know if Hassan understands that or agrees with that. I don't know.
Maybe that is the case for every single person, and that the conservative media is greatly overgeneralizing and hyping up the impact that affirmative action has had in an effort to cut white supremacist propaganda, but not directly by saying we should segregate schools. No, it's probably